It's
There's
6
one.
o'clock. Do you know where your GURPS wars are?
In Discord,
It's 6 o'clock. Do you know where your Jawa is?
hopefully.
Sorry, you turned your back for a split second. He's gone. He may or may
Jawas are a
not,
lot like toddlers.
and you did not attach the harness. He may or may not be underneath that rental hover U-Haul, removing key components that may or may not explode if modified properly or improperly, depending on who you ask.
You were trying to stalk somebody you'd already thrown something at and damaged them severely.
I was doing that, but then it looks like that side gave up right at the end of our last session.
Someone made an intimidation roll with an escape clause in it. I'm not sure giving up is the right term, but there's a bit of a there's overconfidence and there's being at half your health. So
Yeah, well, there's the way I see it, our win condition was a big circle in the Venn diagram that could include the death of all who opposed us, but didn't have to include the death of all who opposed us. So if they all run away, I'm okay with that. Cold open over. What do you say we introduce the show?
this is Beth, and for my sins, I am GMing and discovering that I hate GMing combat again, but I'll learn. And with me, putting up with my ability to GM combat are Crash, Ellie, and EO. And, oh right, it's a homebrew Star Wars GURPS. We're calling it GURPS Wars because naming things is hard. And speaking of other hard things, how about I make you people recap the last session? Is the dead silence just me, or is there dead silence?
None of us wanted to talk over the other people.
Well, I got back to my keyboard just in
Mine
time.
was dead silence because my cord was out of place.
Maybe Ellie would like to recap.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what happened last time.
Well, the time before...
It's only been a
we
week.
left the time we left the time before our recap was we left the atmosphere and opened a can with meat inside.
Okay, so this time we opened a much larger can with meat inside, went inside it, and then tried to hire an Uber.
We are not getting our deposit
Actually-
back on the space U-Haul.
No, I don't think you are. Mostly because of what you did
I
to
got
others.
to make several intimidation rolls.
Yes, it was very serendipitous that you were there.
I'm kind of loving that advantage, Ellie.
I got to play bartender, and I served someone a rotini cocktail.
Which does not have pasta in it.
Not
It
anymore.
may have
jar
alcohol
was.
I shot a guy.
You did.
I set
For
a
half his
Twi'lek on
health.
fire.
for 5 points of damage. And someone else got force choked.
All in all, I'd say it
And
was a
Beth, yeah,
successful day.
Beth, I do like that advantage. It's a really useful way it's really useful for me to be able to say, hey, wouldn't it be convenient?
And then I can go, yes. Yes, it would.
Hey, wouldn't it be convenient if everybody forgot the name of Tiamat?
It would be extremely convenient.
Houtini?
Unfortunately, yeah, there is that little issue. So, let's see. You have someone who is in the middle of the hall air. Well, okay. You got a row of hover U-Hauls. You're in a spot between two hover U-Hauls because they're parked. The person you shot is in the spot across the corridor between the hover U-Hauls, trying to hide. The person who is on fire is behind U-Hauls because this is what happens when you just throw your bomb up and over and, well, your rotini cocktail and close counts and hand grenades and rotini cocktails. And the weird lizardy person is in the middle of the two rows because decided that this was time to get mean and close and vicious with a knife, and then got grabbed by the throat with the force by the person who serendipitously showed up.
They brought a knife
And
to a Sith fight.
they didn't know it was going to be a Sith fight.
Not our problem.
To be fair, neither did I until I walked in.
Houtini. I say
Let's
that while
see.
waving and walking continuously closer towards the burning person.
Well, I will note You cannot actually see them at the moment. They did take cover behind something.
Oh, yeah.
So
They tried to flank us,
We-
and we ended the session. Well, right before we ended the session, I was attempting to flank their flank.
right.
You still have a list of initiative order? Or do we need to reestablish that?
It's going by speed, which means that I think technically it is currently theirs because I actually futzed out their speed, and these are some fairly healthy and dexterous thugs.
And Beth doesn't like combat.
They're clearly
which means
not-
We need to end them now.
That is a interpretation. That's an interpretation.
Where do I
That
put
sure is.
the point of inspiration they just gave me? Which is not a GURPS thing, but whatever.
I mean, if
I'm
I
joking, I'm
figure out
joking.
a spot to put it, I might keep the idea. It's funny. But we'll see. So, I believe the last thing was suggesting that this fight needed to end via the large person with telekinesis intoning it with a successful intimidation roll. There was very bad rolls on that. Oh, that's why I forgot to try. I forgot to open Foundry. I don't have my dice!
If Foundry gets used for nothing other than getting to roll 3D dice for free, then it was worth every penny.
Excellent. How do I start up Foundry? Where is it now? Where's the Foundry? There it is. Okay.
I'll
Back to-
have to also grab Foundry.
I mean, you don't have to, but dice! I need my
Yes,
pretty
things
shiny
to have.
dice.
Mm,
So,
I will reiterate, just because I'm using Foundry for my character sheet does not mean I expect or insist upon anyone else using it. It's an option that's there, but please don't take my using it as a requirement.
I just want the dice.
And that's valid. I did go in and change the character sheets, though, just so that they are actually editable now. Before they weren't, now they are. They're blank, except for Rotini's. Well, also, I added Rocky's character art that Io made. But otherwise,
So you have someone, the human who seems to be the one in charge after the demand for surrender is going, what the criff, we're not being paid enough for this. Let him
Utini,
go.
watch your language.
The Jawa is one to talk. You could say Utini and have stuff that's just not safe for work.
Imagine, if you will, my Jawa breaks the fourth wall, putting one hand with fingers extended upon their chest and leaning backwards a bit to say, Utini?
Are you going to clear out if I let him go?
Yeah, sure.
Start clearing out then.
Let him go first.
You overestimate your negotiating position.
I'm just thinking of having Kevin do bowling for Nazis.
How do I make all these crosses on these dice go away?
Pick another dice face, I think.
Yeah. Click on the gears in the top left, configure settings, and then you're going to want to pick the option for dice so nice.
Not sure where the appearance is. It's appearance. I'm not sure where the...
Should I pause the recording while we all
face.
set up our dice?
Yes. Yeah, probably.
Stop it. I don't want those dice. I configured other dice already.
And we're back after a brief technical difficulties.
We were having dice issues.
We learned a new problem that we didn't know we had before we hit pause. The problem has been sacked.
Does anyone else wish to chime in on the thugs would like to make the telekinetic let go of their person first, and the telekinetic Sith would like to make the thugs start going away first?
You throw me the whip, I
I
throw you
can't
the idol.
decide.
Yeah.
I can't decide whether this is a good idea or not. But being as I am, overconfident and impulsive, that means it's a good idea. I am going to set my blaster to stun and shoot the human.
Okay.
It's a boring conversation.
Point. The
Is that
human.
the one I'm holding?
No, you're holding a reptilian alien of obscure or unknown species. Burly.
That's fair.
12 makes it by 2.
Okay. That's going. I think that's not going to make it with the fact that range. What is that range?
There's a
I
range
believe-
and distance table in here somewhere.
Exactly, which I'm not going to worry about.
It's pinned.
It's pinned.
And
Oh, you're
I was in
excellent.
cause and effect. It is definitely not pinned in cause and effect.
Wrong channel. Yeah, I think that between cover, which is going to be a -2 for cover because, staggered back and is hiding behind the U-Hauls, and
Well, I didn't realize
range.
he was still hiding.
Yeah, he has not come out. The one who is out is the one who is currently going choke, choke, choke.
I was
While
going to say,
talking.
my blaster's range is 300, 900.
Yes, but there's a penalty for hitting things that are further away. That's the speed range.
He's more than 300 away from me.
That's not okay. So, brief pause for the GURPS.
I don't
The
have combat
range-
in front of me.
Right. The range on your weapon, that's not the range that affects your skill roll. That's the range of half damage and max damage. The first, if something is within the first number before the slash, that takes full damage. Anything beyond that takes half damage until it's further away, and then you don't hit it because your weapon doesn't shoot that far. The speed range table here is the modifier. That's the skill modifier. So something that's 3 yards away is, according to this, you've got a -1 to hit it if it's, not just standing right there. Well, if you take a second to aim, that gives you your AC bonus, your accuracy bonus, which frequently.
Question.
Yeah?
What's Deza's intelligence? Not Deza. That won't help. I was looking at Zisha. Yes, that's what I meant, but I was reading Deza off the
If
people
Deza's
in
here, we're in trouble.
yeah.
13.
Yeah. What's Zisha's intelligence? She might have a higher gun skill than she has on her sheet.
13.
Yeah, doesn't that give a bonus?
Does it still give a Does it give a
I thought
bonus?
I thought beam weapons were just Dex +2.
There's in 3rd edition bonus to skill if you have a higher intelligence, and that would be dun 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 dun. Dun. Find beam weapons. No, that's not the one. Okay, guns bang. No, we're not doing guns bang. Beam weapons, all they ever wanted. As per guns, page 198.
Yeah, it just says make an IQ-based skill roll to take immediate action, e.g. eject a dud round, should your weapon fail. I don't say anything about a bonus for IQ.
They may have removed that in 4E. That was a 3E.
Clearly, we should be playing 3rd edition.
Clearly, but we're not. Because I'm trying to learn 4th.
Having forgotten about aiming, I would prefer to take a round to do that.
Okay, that I think is a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
So we're going to retcon that shot.
Yes, we will retcon that shot to take a second to aim while the others are talking, and I am going to open the thing and see if I sensibly put this in my personal file or if I did not. I was stupid. I did not. But it's right here, thank goodness. Yeah, your AC is like a 5. Your accuracy is 5. So you get a +5 to your roll if you take a second to aim. I believe is how that works.
Well, there it is.
Page 280 on the basic set.
Add accuracy to your skill if you took an aim maneuver on the turn prior to your attack.
Okay, you're taking aim. Rotini, are you still walking towards the person who you shot at who you hit with your
Served a
rotini
delicious
cocktail
cocktail
before.
to. So yes, I'm walking in that direction. Could I be readying one of my thimble grenades in the
Yes.
process? And in
Yes.
this case, thimble grenade is the name for the stat block, but also in this case, it is an actual sewing kit thimble.
That you have stuffed with a small amount of explosives and a button.
Yes.
Probably a little dial, actually.
It was a mistake originally to put this back in the sewing kit. There was some time where I had to think, which thimble was it? Luckily, I figured it out. But yes, this is an actual thimble-shaped explosive.
Would you like to make a stealth roll to try to approach quietly enough that someone doesn't know they're coming? Or would you like to ignore that? All right.
I'm not even trying to dodge and weave. I am just walking like I'm going through a mall.
You're making a point.
If I was thinking about
Points
making a
are
point,
being
I'd be
made.
making a point. But no, I'm just that overconfident.
Oh no.
Wrong.
Well, I am making a point.
And
Do
you're
not
doing an
sneeze,
excellent
do
job
not-
of it.
Percy, you're not helping. Socket only paws at you. Percy has a ranged attack.
I was wondering if there was a Percy there.
Yes, there's a Percy there. There's a Percy there who is making noises like he wants to sneeze gross stuff all over me. He is a problem. Okay.
Well, when Socket paws at me, he draws blood, so that is also a problem.
I mean, I just clipped Percy's claws last night, so when he paws at me, it'll just be slightly sharp, and I'll just shove him off things if he annoys me too much.
With that said, I saw
Okay.
you make a roll.
Yes, I did. I did, in fact, make a roll, and I made that roll, and what was that roll there?
A 13.
Yeah, I rolled a 13. Okay.
Rotini's not going to worry about that roll.
That's fine. You don't know what it was for. Sometimes I'm just going to roll because I like the dice. They're pretty.
I mean, that's fair and valid.
Mm-hmm. Just will double check thing that I have because I do believe that Zorok should be making a roll. Yeah, Zorok should be making a IQ roll, perception roll, really. But it's about the same thing. Let me just see. Zorok? Yeah?
Yes.
Can you make a roll for me? Perception roll?
You... Oh, perception?
Yes, please.
Hold on. Yep. That does not make it.
Okay.
Fail by 2.
Okay. That's
I'm
taking
really
that
liking
turn.
the
That's
wooden
taking
look
that
of
turn.
the dice that you picked, and I am resisting the urge to go back and try to find that so I can make mine look like that too.
Ooh, dice.
Yes.
Shinies. All right. So there's been a bit of tense. The human has gone silent, possibly thinking over his options. Zisha can see enough of him that she may, if she desires, take her shot now after a second of aiming, which means a +5. Do you want to find what you rolled and use that, or do you want to roll again?
I'll try and roll again.
Oh, okay. I think that one would make it even with the penalties for speed range, for this range and the cover. Okay.
Yeah, I just should have taken my previous roll.
Whatever. No, this is better. And you've set it to stun setting. Tell me what stun setting does on that.
It's... Oh, I had it in my mind. And stun setting damage becomes HT -3, parenthesis 3, AFF, which I think is affliction.
That's an affliction. Can you write that one out for me? Because I cannot parse that verbally.
Yeah.
Making a HT -3 roll? What is it?
I guess.
Where did that come from? What page? Give me a page.
Page 280.
280.
5.
280 footnote 5. Come on, you wretched thing. Give me actual 270. Okay, so I'm
And
going
as Star Wars blasters do canonically have a stun setting.
Okay. I'm
They're
fine
the,
with...
They're the blue rings.
Right. Okay. Firearms. Blah, blah, blah. The affliction is certainly there. And you know what that means. Just
Yeah,
trying to figure out what that 3 per in is.
I think they're only ever used in the original film.
Yes.
We're going to make an
one
HT minus 3
scene.
roll, and we're going to ignore that 3. I'm going to stop making that thing.
That's a 5.
Okay, that's a 5.
3-1-1.
And GURPS, rolling low is good. He groans, he reels, he moves back to full cover. Okay, Rotini.
I don't know what the parenthesis is.
Yeah, I'm baffled by it as well. Shall we ignore it for now and look it up after?
Yeah.
Okay, I will write a note there. Rotini, you are coming around the corner.
Oh, duh.
Duh?
That's the DR divisor.
Oh, well, his DR is like a leather jacket, so oh well. It's not even a leather jacket with DR, really. It's one of those, pleather fancy things that,
He's wearing a space pleather jacket.
Yes.
Those poor cows.
Yes, those poor cows. Skinned for their pleather.
They weren't even kept around for their blue milk.
The cows don't make blue milk.
No, they make plilk.
Exactly. It's pink and it's much nastier.
I'm here for a lot of things, but I don't like this. Anyway, I'm coming around the corner to see whether or not the Twi'lek that I set on fire is in fact still on fire.
There's a smoldering Twi'lek there who basically has a blaster. Okay, it would be at a regular person's gut level, but you're a Jawa. It's you come around and there's basically a blaster right in front of your face.
Oh, wonderful. Do they have the jump on me, or do I have time to play catch?
Well, they were taking a weight maneuver, so they probably have the jump on you.
Okay.
And I think they're probably going to try to shoot at you.
Okay.
Because, that's kind of the logical thing to do. The question is, do they actually have it fully nose to nose or not? Let's find out. That is not a nice roll for you.
I'm overconfident, though. I'm sure
you are
everything will work out.
overconfident. Indeed.
So is this something where there's a contesting roll that I make, or does that 8 just mean I'm
You can, in fact, make a dodge roll if you wish.
Wonderful. So how do I make a dodge roll? Is there a stat that I use in particular?
Well, you should have a dodge on your character sheet. If you don't, I believe that I have a dodge on your character sheet for you. Or did I not put a dodge on? Did I forget to put a dodge?
There might not be a dodge on there.
Oh, no, that's there. See, it's there on the PDF form. Let's quickly glance over and see if it's on. There we go. Firefox. Discord, Firefox, etc. Let me look at your character sheet very briefly. And do you have a dodge? Yes. Okay. See where it has your point value. See where you have your point value? 196 points down there?
Yeah.
Drop down to the next box, encumbrance, move, and dodge.
Oh, okay.
See the dodge right there?
Okay.
I'm assuming you have 0 encumbrance.
Okay.
Your dodge is 8.
Okay, so do I roll 3d6 again?
You roll 3d6 again. Everything is 3d6.
Okay, that's a 9. I'm assuming that means I'm taking a blaster to the face.
At the moment, yes, you are taking a blaster to the face.
Joke's on them. I'm a Jawa. I don't have a face.
Indeed, there is that situation. I'm going to make this a private roll.
Unfortunately, I am using Foundry, so I have GM privileges. I'm not going to look at that total.
Cursed you! That's probably a good idea. All right, that had a penalty on that. Okay. So do I really want to keep that particular weapon that they... Well, it's a fun weapon. It's a nice weapon. Oh, it's that. No, I'm not going to take that weapon. I'm going to take a smaller weapon instead. Never mind. I'll just roll that one. Okay, you are fortunate. It is a holdout pistol. It's not a blaster rifle or something. It's something small. So you are only going to be taking 4 damage.
Okay.
It is kind of to the face, although you did flinch around, so we will just call that generic damage and not worry about things like, targeted aimed damage, shall we?
Okay.
So, 4 damage to the Rotini. You are now scorched Rotini. This is so sad, so terrible.
Who is this shooting Rotini?
The Twi'lek,
Is this the Twi'lek?
because
That I
this is
set
the
on
Twi'lek
fire.
who was hiding. Yeah.
So this says I have 6 hit points. So I took 2 points and I bring it
4.
down to 4.
You took 4 points. You're down to 2.
Oh,
Sorry, I was trying. Oh, I had that targeted still. Untarget, retarget. Yeah. The 2 is not counting some additions on that. Yeah, you're down kind of a lot. That's a problem with being a small Jawa.
look, I still have a pulse in theory. I haven't actually checked in a while. I'm sure it's
Wait.
fine.
Didn't we switch the GURPS HTST thing?
Did we switch that? Oh, that's true. Okay. In that case, you are only down 4 off of hit points of 10. Okay. Yes. We did a switch. We did a house rule switch, which the GCA will not have recorded. It's only on the PDF.
So that means that I'm actually down to 6 hit points.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you. I had forgotten that.
You may have just saved my life.
When you reach 0 health, you go unconscious and start making death checks. When you reach negative 3 times your health, you die. Or when you've made too many death checks.
Yeah.
For Zisha, the death checks are easier because Zisha is hard to kill.
Zisha has a +2 for death check rolls. Well, for death check target numbers, actually.
Yeah, which I have been representing pluses to skill as minuses to rolls because it's just easier for me to keep track of.
What I'm hearing is this is a problem for future Rotini.
This is a problem for future Rotini, yes.
Yes.
All right. Who is very overconfident, which is why it's a problem for future Rotini.
Yes.
Yeah. You have, however, taken a nasty bolt of fire basically to somewhere in the upper region and are probably not happy. Your robe is probably smoldering just a little.
This is my Monday finest.
Your Monday finest is smoldering, but that is that second dealt with. And now we're going to go to the weird, burly, lizardy alien who is still choking because it's kind of difficult to do much when something has grabbed you by the throat and started choking you and, oh, I'll make a roll. I'm going to make a roll for the poor thing. I will make a public roll. Okay. Has actually realized that there is no one standing around him, her, it, them, and is trying to scrabble to cover and is probably going to get to cover in a moment, but that's not necessarily going to break line of the force. So anyway, that's that thing done. Now that it is, and that gives us back to Zolrak, whose name I hopefully did not get too badly.
I am. Hello?
Yeah, did you? Now I hear you.
Hello?
Now.
I hear you.
Okay. How's this guy looking on losing fatigue?
This guy looks like he has been losing fatigue, but has a lot of fatigue to lose. Suffocation is losing 1 fatigue per second, I believe.
How far away am I?
You are probably about 5 yards away, 5 or 6. You came in. You can have been walking reasonably slowly once you came in, so call it 5.
Is he the one I'm closest to?
He's the one that you can see. The others are currently, from your perspective, walking down the center aisle of the parked space U-Hauls. He's the one you can see. The others are in cover. You may make a perception-y type thing to attempt to locate them with the Force.
I mean, there's fire over there. I feel like there's probably someone over near the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems extremely likely.
Indeed. But, I'm going to get a little closer to this guy, and then I'm going to, where's my fatigue tracky thing? I know I put somewhere how much.
That's right, you've spent fatigue.
Yeah. I'm going to spend 1 more fatigue, and try to zap him.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little closer first, though.
All right. So you are walking towards. This
Mhm.
is a good idea because, well, it is a ranged ability.
And I'm going to try
The
to find
person,
Foundry.
okay.
Mhm.
The person who managed to resist getting stunned is yelling rude things from full cover. So let's see. Not coming out from full cover, has already taken the move from the wait maneuver. No, actually, that was a wait. That was a free. Yeah, taken that one because of a wait maneuver. We'll call that their turn. I hate combat. The other one, choking, losing fatigue, still has a fair amount. Back to Zisha.
What do you mean?
You're walking forwards. That's your turn, right?
What do you mean that's my turn?
1 second turns. Are you walking or
You can't
sprinting?
move. You can't move and attack on the same turn.
If you want to be fully closer, how many yards full move is not it's let's see. Your full move is 5, which is 5 yards per second, right?
How do I know that?
Well, you read it too.
It's not on this sheet.
Oh, your move isn't on the sheet?
No, it's not.
Your move should be on your that sheet. No, it's not on that sheet, is it? I didn't notice that.
But I presume it is 5.
Yeah. Also 2 turns because the GM gets, well, obviously I'm going to have to learn how to use Foundry to make actual tactical things so that I can keep all this.
Anyway, yeah, it is 5.
Okay. And you're concentrating on holding the choke, so you're not running, right?
No, I'm going to zap him. I can't. Why would I be still choking him? I can't do that.
Oh, you're going to let go
Can
of him?
I?
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to zap him. I assume I have to let go of him.
I would let you do that, but you would be at a minus to execute the zap. Although we never have seen anybody choke and zap, have we?
No, we have not.
In that case, all right, you'll have to let him go to do your zap. Okay, moving forwards, you want to make that lower. Moving forwards to call it 4 yards away.
I'm trying to figure out where the thing about move is.
Shall we go with that and look it up later?
No, I'm looking it up.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have this directly to hand. Preview.
I don't know what maneuver I'm using.
Attack?
Okay, in that case, I can presumably move, can't I?
You hit me with enough questions that I can either make a logical thing or I can try to start looking stuff up and that's going to stop the game.
It says that move and attack is a thing that you can do.
Yes, move and attack is a thing you can do. It's going to be less move. I'm going to call this a quick look at this thing. I'm going to call this...
Wait.
Eh?
You can always move a yard, though.
Yes. I'm going to call this a -2 modifier for the range, okay? I'm just going to rule that one now.
So if I move a yard, can I bring that down?
That is with the moving a yard.
So I can't get closer enough for the range table.
That's what I'm going to rule for this moment. Yes. I'm sorry.
For what it's worth, I think I'm going to be doing the same thing.
I moves forwards?
Yeah. I forgot these were 1 second rounds. I am not going to be able to do the entire thing that I wanted to in 1 second.
That's the problem with 1 second rounds. On the other hand, if I made them longer rounds, then everybody would get more things to do, and that includes the bad guys. Combat.
Thank goodness I can say Uchini in 1 second.
Uchini is a 1 second thing to say. Well, talking is the free action as well, because, I mean, if you can't talk like a whole bunch in 1 second, cinematic second.
Anyway.
Yes. Make your zap.
Did.
Okay, where is it? There it is. Okay. A 10. And
my base skill is 15, and I spent a fatigue point to raise that. So I believe that still makes by 4.
So 9 by... Yes. I will trust your math on that. Okay.
Because I raised it by 1 and then lowered it by 2, and the base thing's a 15.
I don't think a 15 is a dodge.
Generally not.
Okay. roll some damage on the poor person who is currently gasping and going, air has come back.
How much damage?
Let's see. Damage equal to the degree of success? Is that what we're working with?
I don't know. You have two options there, and I don't know which one you're using.
This is why you need to ask things before thing. Yeah, let's go with the 2d6 version.
Okay.
If you're paying a fatigue for it.
I guess I am. I mean, both of those say I should.
Yes, both of those say that lightning should cost fatigue. And let's go with the 2d6 to put it more in compatibility with what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
7. That's certainly... And we're doing those.
Now, do you want to keep arguing, or do you want to run?
Okay, let's make a few rolls here. No, stop that. Sounds of footsteps heading away from your perspective. Rotini, give me another dodge roll just for grins here.
That's an 8 this time. I think I dodged.
Yep, you dodged. You dodged the fact that the Twi'lek who was right in front of you, who was extremely smoldered and blistering, I mean, he was red before, but, shoves at you and shoves past you and starts running.
Oh,
admittedly,
take a turn. They get to run before I get to take a turn?
They have a higher speed than you do. So they can start running.
I thought I went after Bora.
You do, but the way that here's what I've been doing.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I swear I've been trying to keep it straight in my head. You see
I'm pretty sure you did skip Zisha.
Zisha was moving, right? What was Zisha moving to do?
See, Zisha was going to abuse the talk as a free action. But Zisha was also moving, yes.
What is Zisha's speed, just for grins?
5.5. 5.5.
And that sounds pretty close to what Zolrox would be.
Zolrox is 5.
Okay, yeah, so Zisha goes first.
Yeah.
Actually, have the I'm assuming that Zisha went next because you called on me after you thought Zolrox had ended their turn.
That is because I'm sorry.
But the guy I've been shooting at has a 6 speed.
Yeah.
So if the guy I've been shooting at hasn't had a turn since the last time since I shot at him, then he should get to go before I do.
He was the one who was taking an aim maneuver while and then Zisha had already taken her aim maneuver because we were rearranging that. So she got to shoot at him while he was aiming at Zol. So it was going, it's a little bit...
I'm not going to... There was a thing I was going to do, but if I don't get to do it, then I don't get to do it. I mean, mostly Zisha's priority right now is extorting them for the money that she's going to have to pay for the repairs to the U-Haul. Like, she's not even saying, give me all your money. She's just saying, pay me back for the damage that you did to the U-Haul.
You could yell, you owe me, you jerks. But I don't think that they're paying attention to this.
Yeah.
You can yell this while while those footprints are starting to happen, because it's going to take them like at least 2 or 3 seconds to run all the way back.
Yeah, I'll send you the bill.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
The Twi'lek shoved past me to run.
Yep.
And Socket
you can throw a bomb at them
to
after
get on my desk just now.
Yep.
I had my thimble grenade at the ready.
Yep.
What is the possibility that I might have found a way to provide them with a going away present that would travel with them?
You want to try to throw it after, or you want to try to stuff it into a pocket?
Stuff it into a pocket is, I think, what I'm hearing.
That I'm wondering if that's a possibility. I'm not familiar enough with GURPS for me to think,
it is a
possibility. Yeah, I can definitely do this.
You can definitely do that if you make a sleight of hand roll. Do you have sleight of hand skill? No, you do not have sleight of hand skill, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I don't have sleight of hand.
See, does sleight of hand have a default?
Filch minus 5.
It would probably be dexterity based.
It would be dexterity based.
Sleight of hand is Filch minus 5. Bilch is Dex -5. Pickpocket -4. Oh, pickpocket.
Right, pickpocket would also work.
Pickpocket defaults to Dex -6.
Okay, I think at this point we're reaching a point where I'd have to roll a negative number. So no, I do not try to.
No. It's Dex -6.
We were searching for the most advantageous thing possible on.
Yeah.
It would be a Dex -6 roll.
So this is not something where it would be my first thought to do as Rotini. I'm going to wait for my turn to toss something after them as opposed to reverse pickpocketing.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go back to lurking.
Okay. So Zisha is yelling. I assume Zisha is not going to take a pot shot at anybody.
No, it's too much effort to put my blaster back to kill.
I mean, these are people. They had a lot of health. Okay. So dip. The reptilian thug who got zapped did not make an IQ roll very well, I think. Well, that is actually an IQ because rolled. Yes, I did roll that thing. It's the exact same thing there. Is wounded. Appears to be crawling between the two things and between two of the space U-hauls in a manner indicative, presumably, of running away. So, Zisha, at the top of the hour for PCs, not shooting at anything, just yelling about sending them a bill.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Rotini, go ahead and make your throwing roll. They are going to be at a -1 because they've been running.
There isn't an opportunity where there's two of them that are within 2 yards of each other, is there?
No.
Okay.
Not that you can
Thought
see.
I'd ask.
It's a reasonable ask.
I thought so. Okay.
Give me your throwing roll.
I believe my default throwing is 16.
That's not your default. That's the throwing that you've put points into.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a 16.
All right.
I don't know how you did that.
Bulk.
Yeah. That is very wrong. I did not roll a 76.
I think you want to erase bulk from your character sheet there.
I'm going to need to re-edit this properly. But
That's a 10.
It was a 2, 2, and 4. It was a 10. We're
was
not
a
going
10.
to count the 9 that I rolled because that was the second roll. We're going to count the 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A 10. A 10 at a -1. That is still significantly below there. It was one of the thimble grenades, right?
Yes, and I was aiming for the Twilight because they did give me a gift. I thought I should return the favor.
I mean, you gave your Rotini cocktail first, so we're kind of,
We're in a gift-giving cycle at this point.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we are. So,
Utini, which
those
translates to catch.
1d6 for the thimble grenades.
Yep.
Damage. Roll a d6.
That would be a crit.
That'd be a 6.
Yes.
Okay,
Maximum
that's
damage.
interesting. Okay, that's fair. They are blown off of their feet forwards and continue to. They're blown off their feet forwards and start crawl between another two of the space U-hauls, which is now out of your visual sight. You have successfully taken them down enough that they are not currently going at full speed anymore, which I don't know what you want to do about that.
Utini translates to where's our money?
Zwol's turn. Zwolrock. I hope I'm getting the name.
Is anyone not running away?
Everyone is attempting to run away. There's one of them that is certainly making footstep sounds, basically passing you, but to the other side of a row of the hover trucks. They're apparently headed for the door that you came in. There was an explosion off to one side, and you don't hear running from that side currently. And
I will head for the place where things were exploding.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that Rotini is all right and has not blown himself up.
Utini, not yet.
Not yet.
Utini, the day is young.
Rotini, you are going to see someone, the reptilian alien thing basically come out from between two of the U-Hauls in front of you and start heading for the exit. It will take you a second to draw one of your bombs if you want to, because you don't have fast draw. I did not give you fast draw explosives. Sorry.
I didn't ask for it. I like to take my time and be careful.
Okay.
And I think this time it's going to be a mini grenade.
You're pulling one out. Okay.
Yes. Which, by the way, does in fact look very much like a Reuben sandwich.
Oh no. It's the Reuben grenade.
Yes.
Quick
with the little
check.
toothpick sticking out the top with an olive stuck to the toothpick. The olive may or may not be a thimble grenade, but I'm not throwing that too. Is it a thimble grenade? You'll have to wait and find out.
I believe that by the time you get it open and all of the maneuvers have been executed, I am going to say that the lizard is far enough away to count for a -4. Is anyone doing anything before Rotini gets the grenade out?
No, I'm going to go check on the package.
Okay. Your package appears to be still there, and it's all of the other U-Hauls that got the most damage. You have a few blaster marks on this one at the top. I mean, it was beat up when you got there, kinda. You can always claim.
We're going to take our pictures of its condition after this event finished.
No, I have a funnier solution. These guys bribed the security officers so they could do some vandalism.
It's true. You can blame all of this on... This was what it looked like when you got there.
They came out and they had explosives, but we managed to drive them off.
Okay. Swolrock, how quickly are you trotting over to where the explosion was?
Probably not too quickly in case there are more explosions.
Teeny, do you want to make another roll then? It's going to be at a -4.
And for the record, I don't intend to have this explosion be near Rocky, but that very large kobold over there is going to take flying lessons if this works out. That's 3 ones.
Well,
are we going
that's
to
a crit.
Orbit?
Possibly. Would you like to roll the damage for that one?
Okay, so that was
isn't...
that was one of my mini grenades, so that's 2d6, correct?
Okay, roll your 2d6.
Well, that could have been better, but that's an 8.
The lizardy thing is blown forwards and collapses briefly, and let's see if they can remain conscious.
Do they do a Wilhelm scream? Please tell me they do a Wilhelm scream.
They make a very fascinating reptilian shriek and somehow drag themselves upright because they have an extremely good health and continue to stagger onwards.
Ooh, teeny, where's our money?
They stagger onwards and turn between a couple of the U-Haul things because there's cover. It's right there.
They do know I can toss things over their cover, right? Oh, apparently they don't. Never mind.
Well, it means it's not clear on which side of the cover they would be if they managed to get there or whatever, so...
Then I toss the grenade
Zolrock,
under the cover. Solves the problem.
Generally, yeah. Zolrock, there's been another explosion, I'm afraid.
Oh dear. Do I have to roll something?
It wasn't near you.
I eat the olive.
It vanishes into the darkness under your little Jawa hood. Okay.
Imagine, if you will, the dark void of a Jawa hood and a toothpick sticking out of one side.
Okay, still conscious. Okay. I'm just going to make some rolls periodically. What are people doing? There's one thug who appears to have gotten out the door, and the other two are severely wounded, apparently, and hiding behind things.
I'm going to get customer service on the phone.
Okay.
I'm using my holocom to call the service line.
That makes sense. Routini, are you doing anything besides enjoying your olive?
Is the lizard person still within range, or is there someone closer?
The lizard person is further away than wherever the Twi'lek went. The Twi'lek depends on how quickly the Twi'lek is running, if Zwolok tried to catch, because that would be, if they went out that side, then Zwolok would have seen them. You're not quite sure where Zwolok is anymore, probably. I mean, you're short, U-Hauls are tall.
Okay.
Zwolok is trying to find Rotini.
Do I
Calling
see
out?
what U-Haul they dove behind?
Yes. You don't know where Zwolok is, but you're overconfident, so well.
I'm going to ready another mini grenade to roll under that U-Haul.
Okay, they do hover slightly.
Yes.
Rotini.
Utini?
Okay,
There you are.
Utini.
Zisha, you have customer service. Galactic U-Haul, how can we help you?
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line.
Hey, so we came to pick up our the hover truck that we had rented from you guys, and we found some guys down here who said they were intent on doing some damage and had bribed your security to not look while they were doing it. Listen, all I know is there were a bunch of explosions and some of your trucks are damaged.
Oh, no.
My mechanic says it's going to take some doing to repair them. I just wanted to let you know. We got a couple scuff marks on the U-Haul that we rented, but it still functions. We don't have any problems continuing to use it. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware.
Please stay there while we send our security to check on this.
In my head canon, while this conversation is happening, there's just a few more explosions happening behind.
Probably.
Just in the background. There's also like a scream or two of someone flying through the air.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can catalog the damage, so I'm gonna hang up now. But we'll wait for your security. We'll make sure that they get all the reports they need.
Security will be there very soon. We thank you for your patronage.
Excellent. Have a great day. And I hang
You
up.
too.
Will it be the security that was paid off or new security?
Zisha didn't ask.
And Rutini wasn't part of that conversation.
You know what we've been doing?
Playing for over an hour.
We should take a break. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
And we're back.
Yay! With tea and cats who are not wanting to be petted.
Tragedy.
Better than cats who are screaming.
True.
Sometimes it's
Like
both.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yes, that was yesterday.
What, the Dickens?
The Dickens. Definitely the Dickens. So, Zisha's gotten off the comm with customer support, who would like everybody to stay there until security gets there. Rotini is getting out another grenade of some variety.
In this case, it resembles one of those tape recorders used to take notes in the 90s. Imagine, if you will, that it's had a few little bits and bobs stuck to it and the whole thing got spray painted. So it looks like it should be something in the Star Wars universe. It's been kit bashed into something from the Star Wars universe, but it was made out of a tape recorder from the 90s. Complete with
isn't that how a lot of things in the Star Wars universe are?
Apparently,
See also the ice cream machine.
Indeed.
And apparently, the story that I've heard from Adam Savage is there is a particular model kit for a battleship that had one specific Greebly in it that they kept buying bulk packages of that model kit because that one little Greebly thing they glued onto pretty much every model of every space scene, every starship that they built at ILM had that little shape in there somewhere. They ended up making molds of it to stick them in more places. With that said, this teeny little device with working tape in it, I'm about to slide it underneath the space U-Haul that the lizard person's hiding behind in one side or another. As it slides under, it's going to say Utini, 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 which translates to, I'm a 30-second bomb. I'm a 30-second bomb. 29, 28. Just kidding. Boom.
Give me a throwing roll.
Well, it's not as good, but that would be an 8.
Okay, and that's going for the one that the Twi'lek was gone behind, presumably, yes? Because
Whichever
that would
one
be
is
the closer one.
Whichever one is
That's
closer
the
is the one I'm aiming for.
Closer one. Okay, let's see if someone can make their dodge.
Can they dodge a U-Haul? Well, it's a 5, 5, and a 3, so
No.
they cannot dodge
No,
the U-Haul.
I'm indeed. You did, however, slide it under the U-Haul, so it's not necessarily a direct at them. You couldn't see them. You're going for their general vicinity, right?
Well, it might at least give them a hot foot.
This is entirely probable. Roll for damage.
Might even sweep the leg.
Entirely possible. Is that one of your 1d6s, or is that 2d6?
It
That's
was
2d6.
a mini grenade.
Holy freaking cow!
That's not max damage, but that's 11. Make sure I'm down to 10 of those now. For the sake of the recording, this is all statted up. I have a limited number of each level of explosive. I no longer have any Rotini cocktails. Those are the big bada boom ones that do 4d6 burning damage. Everything else is smaller than that.
Okay, and that is not a full direct hit. That is, however, enough of a hit that there is a scream, and Zwolrock, you see someone who is normally red, apparently, but also extremely singed, basically fall out from between a couple of the U-Hauls just after a wave of fire goes from underneath one of the U-Hauls.
Ooh.
Like
Teeny. Where is our money?
Zwolrock understands that.
Why are you yelling about money and making fire?
Rotini
ixnay on the Enneads Gray.
For the record, Rotini literally does not understand Rocky's question.
And not because you don't understand the language.
It's the motivation behind the question. However, sometimes Rotini needs someone to tell them, back off just a little bit. So I'm going to salute Zisha and not ready enough. Well, I'm still going to ready another grenade, but I'm not going to throw it quite right. It's going to be one of my thimble grenades. This one looks like one of those little plush keychain things. It's a tiny little plush Jawa on a keychain ring. It's adorable, but don't hug it.
It is not a friendly, huggy one.
I'm readying it, but I'm not throwing it.
That you and I should rest in the truck for a little bit.
Ooh, teeny. Which translates to, well, I already got rid of my sandwich.
You weren't going to eat that, were you?
I have explosives 20. I know how to disarm it.
Got a point there.
You just eat around the toothpick. Okay, I'm going to walk back towards the truck then.
Zisha, are you getting into a point where you could survey the damage, or...
Yes.
Well, somehow... Okay.
I am doing my very best to look like a concerned citizen.
Somehow, the lizardy alien is apparently still going, and you are going to get out to look at that particular area in time to see the lizardy alien has vanished through the door. The Twi'lek is hauling himself to his feet and trying to stagger towards the door. He does not look good. He looks extremely ungood.
I have second thoughts about walking away.
Yeah, he's been blown up a couple times.
Yeah.
Blown up twice,
3
set
times.
on fire once.
Zwolrock thinks that it is meditation time, and they are going to sit in the truck and meditate.
You're down a bit of fatigue, yes.
How ambulatory is the Twi'lek? Or Twi'lek?
Clinging it.
Thank you.
Yes. The blue Twi'lek, or sorry, what color is
Green.
green? The green Twi'lek or the red Twi'lek?
The red one.
The red
one
one?
that looks like they're mostly covered in char and whatever.
They are working very hard to be going places. They are clearly clinging to consciousness kind of out of sheer stubbornness.
Do they look like they'd be able to put up a fight if I decided to check their pockets?
If you got close enough, probably some amount of fight. If you're trying to stick a grenade in their pockets...
Oh, no. I've been told ixnay on the grenades. So
Okay.
I'm just thinking, they made us exert some effort.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Others may not have noticed, but I did get shot in the face.
Ulrich may or may not have noticed that Rotini is a little bit wounded, but has decided that this is a problem for after they've recovered some fatigue.
I mean, the black scorch mark of where the blaster bolt hit is in the middle of the void, so it's a black on black situation. Schwartz on Schwartz. It's like when you print black ink on black paper. It looks pretty cool because it changes the texture, but now I'm geeking about visual art again.
Your hood's a little scorched.
The hood is a little scorched.
Rotini, I'm going to
Rotini?
ask you as a personal favor to go meditate with Rolrock.
I kick a small bit of rubble that may or may not be my fault and sulkingly walk
Yes.
over to the truck.
Zisha, are you going to be doing anything about the Twi'lek who is staggering towards the door at a pace, an extremely impressive pace for somebody who is smoldering, bleeding? Or are you letting the poor fellow go?
This was addressed as Rolrock?
Sorry, this is addressed to Zisha.
Oh, no, I'm letting him go.
Okay. If no one is stopping, then I'm going to just make a couple more little rolls here just to make sure. Okay. The dice, amazingly, do not hate me, and that's really kind of weirding me out. Dice always hate me. These dice don't hate me. I'm concerned, gratified.
Also, Rotini,
Utini?
if anyone asks, just say Utini.
Utini.
Not Utini, just Utini.
Utini, which translates to sometimes Utini just means Utini. And yes, that means I
And
fit
that's
two
exactly
Utinis
what
in a
I
single
want it to
Utini.
mean.
That entire sentence, by the way.
Drifting.
Now, for the record, Utini, in that case, translated to sometimes Utini just means Utini, and yes, that means I fit two Utinis in an Utini. That whole thing. So I fit four Utinis in one Utini, actually.
Utineception.
I turned it into
Utineception?
four-dimensional speech.
That only works if you're right there and have enough of a nose to tell.
Fortunately, Zisha can speak Jawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I get in the truck and start to meditate.
Do you even have a skill for that?
I assume it just means I sit crisscross applesauce
Pretty
And-
much. For
and
you.
go to a happy place, which involves things that I can turn into explosives.
Obsession, things that go boom.
You can roll will -6 if you really want to.
What is my will?
Your will, unless
All my
you have
worldly
strong will.
possessions get blown up. Don't give them to anyone. Oh, that's my will. Okay. I should get this notarized.
Your will is your IQ. There are ways to make
Okay.
it higher or lower than that, but it defaults to your IQ.
Okay, so that will -6 would have been a 9 minimum, and I rolled an 8.
Okay, you're somehow meditating, possibly you're
Successfully meditating.
successfully, somehow.
What, like it's hard?
Okay, point. You are rather high at the IQ and therefore the attendant thingamies.
Not just high in the IQ, but also incredibly overconfident. So yes, I will be indignant about it.
This is
Because,
the
well,
ability to calm the emotions. Sorry.
Because while my character thinks it's a favorable trait, it is still a flaw.
So this is now 3 sessions and 2 things that you have discovered that you can do perfectly and flawlessly with no effort required.
The ability to calm the emotions, control the mind, and relax the body. Concentrate for 20 minus skill seconds. Minimum 1. Roll versus skill. On a success, you enter a trance-like state, which you can maintain for hours. That's the normal version. Zorok has a slightly different version.
I've also learned
That
today
depends
that
on the
I'm very
force.
good at being shot in the face.
Yeah, this does kind of sting. You have a serious sunburn, and I mean, for a Jawa, that's really annoying. You don't get sunburned usually.
Curse you, Daystar.
Well, more like curse you, holdout blaster, but okay. Zisha is waiting until security gets there.
Yes.
About 15 minutes later, security does show up. One moment, I'm getting paged.
Okay. Zisha is incidentally very studiously taking extensive notes on the damage done to the U-Hauls.
There's a few blaster shots. There's
Some fire.
There's some
Some
fire.
explosions.
Yep, there's some explosions. The one that had the explosive go off underneath, it does not seem to have caught on fire at this time. You're not sure you'd want to fly that one.
Well, thank
And there
goodness it's not
seems to
ours.
be some
Indeed.
ash-covered footprints heading off towards that exit over there. They went that way, officer.
Yep.
I mean, Utini. Actually, no, I'm not even saying that. I'm meditating.
You're meditating. The security team that comes in is the smallest hut you've ever seen on a little hover platform that is being steered by one of those boar-faced, grunty fellows.
Nuts. No.
Gamorreans.
Yes? Oh, okay.
They are
Ugnuts
both...
is the wrong kind of people.
Yeah. All right, the smallest adult hut you've ever seen. I'm not sure if you've seen a baby hut or not.
Baby hut do
Do do do do do do baby hut do do.
Oh dear.
Baby huts are cute, but they grow up, Zisha. They grow up. And then pay us.
Hopefully.
I mean, Utini.
Baby huts. They're not just for Christmas.
They are both apparently wearing uniform jackets that proclaim them apparently to be rent-a-cops or something. It's a little unclear. The hut
Paul
says...
Blart, space cop.
What?
Because Paul Blart is
Oh.
a mall cop.
Yeah.
The hut
says,
fixes Zisha with a beady golden eye. They do have pretty eyes, at least, even if the rest of them is very sluggy. And burbles in Galactic Basic. What's the problem?
Okay, so we came down to grab our rented trucks.
Looks fine to me.
We're all one group, but we did need 2 trucks because we're going to different destinations. And we discovered this group of 3 people. It was a human, a Twi'lek with red skin, and I hesitate to admit this, but a reptilian alien I couldn't identify. And they said that they had bribed security to turn the cameras off, and then things started exploding. I have a blaster, so I shot at them on the stun setting. You can check my blaster; it's on the stun setting. But I think they got caught in one of their own explosions. They ran off once I called security. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew, because there's been frankly, a considerable amount of damage to the hover trucks owned by the Nar Shaddaa Hover Truck Rental Corporation. And I just wanted to make sure you knew. I have taken a catalog of the damage, which you can have, and I hand over the data pad.
The boar-faced alien. What was the name of those again? Yeah,
Gamorreans.
Gamorrean.
Gamorreans.
Yeah, the Gamorrean.
Gamorreans. That's right. They're the guards at Jabba's palace.
Exactly. It's one of them. Takes the thing, goes slots data, sticks in, or whatever that thing. Crash found a GIF. Peers
I
at
want
it.
to note there were a couple of blaster singes. Again, not from my blaster. I had my blaster on the stun setting. There are a couple of blaster singes to one of the trucks that we had rented. And I just wanted to run that by you before we took off, because we have to make this delivery to the hut.
The hut you were making it to is Graxar.
Graxar. We have to make this delivery to Graxar the hut. He's expecting us, and honestly, we had hoped to be there 15 minutes ago. But as a concerned citizen, I wanted to make sure that you had all the information.
Concerned citizen.
Hey, I do a lot of business on Nar Shaddaa. It doesn't look good on my record if I return a hover truck with blaster scorches on it. Hey, you can check my record. I've been doing business here for years.
Let's see the blaster.
I hand it over. He's welcome to take a look at it. It is currently set on stun setting. It's been discharged twice since I recharged it.
Blaster is handed back. Normally, we'd want to keep you around until everything was investigated. Make
I
sure those
understand
weren't
completely.
friends of yours.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I understand. But I've got to get this to Graxar. I'm sure you understand. He's going to be very upset if I don't get this to
Sorry.
You can see my mechanic and my courier are so upset that they have to meditate in the back of the truck in order to calm their nerves. You know, me, I've seen this sort of thing before. But you know, a ship's mechanic and a courier, are they going to have seen explosions
Probably.
usually in their line of work? Okay, a mechanic, probably.
It's a good thing I'm meditating. And for the record, I have thought of 11 different things that I can turn into explosive devices while meditating, because this is my happy place. 3 of those things are not practical in any way, shape, or form, but I could still do it. We need
I call it a Star Destroyer.
Because I hate mornings.
That'd be a Daystar Destroyer.
Anyway, I'm all I know is they saw the explosions, they decided they had to meditate, and I am not going to stand in the way of anybody in their inner peace. And I do apologize for having to call you down here, but I wanted to make sure that the Nar Shaddaa Hover Truck Rental Consortium was aware of the damage to their vehicles caused by these people who had bribed the security department to turn the cameras off.
Someone's going to get in trouble for that one.
It's
normally we want people to stick around for the full investigation, but for a modest fee, we can fill out the paperwork ourselves.
Oh, of course. Did I not hand that to you already? And I pass over a credit stick.
Give me, you have smuggling or streetwise or something, right?
I certainly do.
Give me a roll for that to make sure that it is a credit stick of an appropriate amount for the.
I'm going to go ahead and use streetwise because it's higher than smuggling.
Good. That's probably the better one.
That beats my streetwise by 3.
Okay, you have handed over a credit stick of a slightly painful amount, but this is a hut. You know that huts are going to want a little bit more, even if it's a small one, just, building up. The hut takes the credit.
This is the price of doing business.
This is the price of doing business.
I am still within my profit margin.
You are.
And I would not be if I was required to replace the hover truck.
Yeah.
Should have let me search the Twi'lek for loose change. I mean, I'm just meditating. Ooh, teeny. Ooh, teeny. Ooh, teeny. Which translates to Azeroth, Metreon, Zinthos.
The hut takes the credit stick, examines it, pockets it, and basically goes, take 1 truck, do your errands, take 1 truck. They're meditating.
Out of character.
Yeah.
We rented 2.
You rented 2. The hut is suggesting that what you should do is take 1 of them, possibly on the grounds that there's going to be a lot of having to investigate to see which ones are flight worthy.
Gotcha.
It's probably take it, gotta check which ones fly. You know this one didn't get hit where it would not fly well, right?
Oh yeah, it's just got a couple of blaster scars on it. It's a paint job thing.
Take that one, file for a refund on the other at the front office. Gonna have to get someone to check all these things in, see which ones are damaged too much to fly. Don't want them going splat, might hit somebody important.
Actually, I tell you what, why don't we take this other one that I have looked it over. It didn't get hit by any of the explosions, didn't get hit by blasters. We can transfer our goods and we can transfer our cargo over to it and be on our way. That way you can have all of the vehicles that were inspected. Serendipitously, there's one nearby.
All right, you want to use your serendipity on that one?
I do.
Okay. The hut makes some grumbling noises, has to take the electronic key for the other one back from you, slot it into something, reprogram it for the other one, etc. But yes, the hut will agree The hut security will agree that, all right, fine, if he'll get you away from here since you did pay.
Hey, I'm just trying to save you some work, since once this truck leaves the garage, then anything that happens to it is like, I could claim that I got caught in the crossfire of like a Justicar fight, and these blaster blasts were, I'm just saying.
You want the
easier to-
clean-cut truck, fine, impress Graxar.
All right, I'll take it.
Fine.
Just trying to make your job easier. Hey, I gave you that data pad with the list of all the damage.
You did.
I'm doing my best here.
Mm-hmm. The HUD does not believe that you only shot things with stun, but the HUD does not entirely care. You paid the HUD not to care.
Yeah, I paid the HUD not to care. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the three of you can get everything. And
not only did I pay the HUD not to care, I gave him a party to blame.
Yep, that is definitely helpful. Hopefully this is not the same HUD who accepted a bribe, but the HUD has been paid not to care.
My assumption is that when he said someone's going to get in trouble for this, that meant that he was not the HUD that accepted the bribe.
Either that, or he knows someone he can frame.
Yep. Either way,
he doesn't care.
Not his problem.
Exactly.
This is the beauty of fast talk and streetwise and bribery.
Okay.
We're going to move our cargo.
And yourself. Yeah.
And ourselves. It'll take 5 minutes. We'll be out of your hair.
The hut, without having eyebrows, manages to lift them. The hut does not have hair.
Yes.
And therefore...
Twi'leks don't either.
Generally not, no.
Anyway.
Okay, you are all loaded into one space U-Haul with your stasis chamber.
One U-Haul.
Are you going to be... Sorry.
I'm just saying a large percentage of citizenry of this universe were created on the planet Jim Henson Studios.
You got a point there.
But I interrupted you.
You're all going a place, and please do interact among yourselves as you dodge the traffic, weave through the occasional skyscrapers, dodge the things falling off of the traffic. Is that a dump truck? Why don't they have their dump truck covered? In fact, you know what? Make a piloting roll.
That's a roll I like. I beat it by 7.
Okay, you dodge and weave very well, and you hardly break any traffic suggestions. I mean, it's a hut planet. They're technically they call them regulations, but we all know they're just suggestions. Sort of like the rules of piracy.
There's a white border around the sign. That means it's optional.
There's a green border around that sign. That means you have to pay a fine.
Still within the profit margin. Still within the profit margin.
Which means only poor people need to follow that sign.
Exactly. Yeah. Or people who don't feel like paying a fine.
Poor people who get caught.
So,
I apologize. They told me I could only take one truck. I thought...
Sorry, my headphones were messed. Well, I can wait while the hut is dealt with, and then we can get our supplies after.
I'm so glad that you think of it that way. Thank you.
I like the parts of this trip where we're upside down.
That many?
It just saves me from having to figure out how to fly a truck.
Good to know.
It's much easier when you realize that you're bigger than most of the other things on the road. I mean, air.
I mean, Uccini.
It's physics.
Because some of those hut barges that go, floating through occasionally, but,
Yeah, we go around those.
Right.
And sometimes up and over, hence the upside down part.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Beth, would you please remind me again of the name of the hut?
I will write it down. Graxar.
Okay. I did remember it correctly.
You did. Graxar wants this delivered to the top of one of the skyscrapers. It has a personal landing port that juts out from it and has little hover things to help stabilize it if anything heavy lands on it. presumably if people come to attack, then they land on it and the hover things get cut off and it crumbles to the floor, but crumbles to the ground, but you know how that goes.
Please tell me that as
So-
we're coming in for a landing, we start backing up and we go beep, beep, beep.
That is up to Zisha.
Sure, because it's funnier.
The entryway is flanked by shiny droids. Someone comes there. It's a human, female, looks attractive, has extremely long braids, like someone wants to make her look like a Twi'lek, and is basically waiting for you to unload the thing. And should we pause about here? If it's over 2 hours?
I'm okay with continuing to go. but-
Theo? Crash?
I can keep going.
All right.
I can also
for at
keep
least a
going.
little longer.
I just want us to be aware of the time, is all.
All right. Well, you're probably going to trim a lot of the stuff where we're looking stuff up.
There's
And Crash, I know you have school in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
For the sake of the recording, no, it's July. This will probably come out in August, which will still be early August, so no, but that's what makes it fun. But yeah, there's been periods of silence where all I have to do is hit the button in Audacity that says truncate silence, and this will be half as long.
Figures. Useful.
It's a very
All
useful
right.
tool.
There is definitely. There's the attractive, presumably, at least, she's got the long braids and very buxom, fairly plump.
I mean, I guess if you're into that, but she's very tall and you can see her face.
I know it's indecent is what it
Her
is.
eyes aren't even
Eugenie.
glowing amber or red.
I know, it's strange.
I mean, Utini.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm imagining like female Jawas with hijabs.
With what?
Hijabs.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
I mean, Jawas are kind of.
I know,
think
that's the
their
funny part.
clothes do qualify for the standards.
Our clothing is gender
but imagining
neutral.
a female Jawa looking like normal Jawas do, but with a hijab over it.
Oh,
that would be adorable.
it is adorable.
Casual Fridays.
Anyway, yes, I'm backing into the landing pad as this person approaches.
She stays outside, not too far from the door because, you're backing up and it's making beep, 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 beep noises. So waits for you to land and just sort of stands there looking attractive and
This
patient.
is the person I know.
This is probably a reception type person. This is not the person who set it up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is probably the equivalent of, the person who makes introductions in person as opposed to the individual who arranges things over the comm. Oh, Crash, that gif, that kitten.
Mm.
Little kittens of that age that just stick their tails straight up as they walk.
Their tails are just triangles. I was trying to
Yes.
find a gif of a truck backing up, but no, I found this instead. You're welcome.
Aw. Anyway, you get the thing landed. I think that the prior piloting roll should count for that just fine.
Okay.
Unless you want to make another one. I don't.
I do not.
Okay. I would never stop you from making a roll.
I park and get out of the car and greet this person who has come out. Hey, I'm Zisha. How you doing? I am here to deliver a package to Graxar the Hut. It's a requested package. All I gotta do is drop it off and get paid, and we'll be done.
Graxar will be delighted to see you present the acquisition.
He will. Well, that's that's wonderful.
Do you have a hover pad? Do you have a hover platform for the acquisition?
Utini, we have a burlap sack.
That's an excellent question. It was given to us in a burlap sack, and we hired a hover dolly to get it onto the truck. If you've got a spare hover dolly, that would be fantastic.
Moment. She lifts a hand. Instantly, a droid comes out with a very fancy hover dolly of the, you lay it flat and it's got the scroll work gilt on the edge and it's got a satin sheet sort of draped over it and another one folded up at the top. It looks fancy.
That's fantastic. There is a thing, actually, this is good luck. There is a thing that I need to tell Graxar about.
Of course. We hope that there were no different.
Own a cowboy hat?
Rotini. Is that in character?
No.
For the record, I
did
am
not think.
resisting the urge to ride the stasis tube while waving a cowboy hat in the air, not unlike a certain scene from a certain movie that's about not
A very
worrying
good movie.
and loving a bomb. I realize after I've said that the name of that movie is very fitting for Rotini's personality trait. Just the one trait.
Yep.
And it is possible that Rotini has a small cowboy hat shaped bomb.
Actually, we did have an encounter in the garage where we rented this hover truck. Someone bribed the security team to turn the cameras off, apparently so they could come blow it up. We did drive them off, but we have told the Narshada Hover Truck Rental Consortium about this incident, and they are investigating it currently, but it might be best to have my mechanic look over the item before we present it to Mighty Graxar.
Of course. We are not yet late for the presentation.
Rotini, would you check and make sure that everything is up to spec on the stasis tube? I mean, the item?
I just did a 3-fingered salute like a Boy Scout when saying that, and I realized that this is an audio format, so that meant absolutely nothing.
Oh, I have spent the entire time I've been fast talking gesturing with my hands.
So, at this point, I'm way too truthful to try any deception. I'm going to look it over to make sure I put everything back together properly.
Okay.
Now, I can tell you that in hyperspace, my mechanic, Rotini, you can see them there going over the stasis tube to make sure everything's okay.
I waved without turning away.
There was a component that was not up to spec when we received the stasis tube, and that is the holo projector inside the stasis tube, which presents a fearsome image regardless of what or who is actually in the stasis. And Rotini discovered that was deficient and repaired it so that it displays the appropriate image.
I hope that there were not too many parts that required replacement. It is an antique, and Mighty Graxar does prefer that the antiques be delivered with all of the parts present, even if they do not necessarily work. Refurbishing.
I guarantee that Rotini replaced parts only when necessary.
Do you have the older parts available?
We can fetch them from the ship, certainly.
That would be best.
What are the chances that I have those parts on me and I had incorporated them into one or more of my explosives? Because historically,
you were making explosives out of things.
We made them after I messed with the stasis tube.
You might indeed have some of them, and
You know what? It'd be better if I didn't take apart explosives in front of this person.
You might want to take them apart where they're not looking, indeed.
Yeah, we'll go back to the ship and take care of that.
So long as it is presentable to start with, the remaining parts can be delivered after the unveiling.
So, for the record, I rolled a 7 for checking to see if everything is on the up and up so far as its functionality.
That thing is working fine.
Considering my electronics
it still
repair
has that...
is 19.
Yep. That makes it by 12. The weird power source that you cannot figure out how it's still providing power after however long is still providing power. It's hooked up to everything. Everything's running fine.
I do point out the power source to this person and say Utini, which is, this part is super neat. Graxar's gonna love it.
She reaches out and pats you on top of your slightly singed head. Pat, pat. A charming little creature.
Utini,
He is.
do you
Isn't he?
speak Jawa?
How adorable.
Utini, no one speaks Jawa anymore.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, what are you liking?
Rotini, do we need to go back to the ship? I'm going to rephrase that.
Mhm.
I have to think up. I am sitting here thinking about what to say.
You need to ask a question where I will answer honestly.
Yes.
Because while this person is acting like they don't speak Jawa, we don't know they don't speak Jawa.
Furthermore, you don't know if you're on cameras that might speak Jawa, that might have someone who could translate Jawa on the other end.
Cameras can't smell.
No, true.
However, it's best to operate under the assumption that people will figure things out.
One of these droids that's waiting around might not be a guard droid, it might be a protocol droid. And some of them have sensors.
Some protocol droids smell,
Yep.
even
Rotini,
after you take a bath. Yes.
you don't happen to have brought those original parts with you, do you?
I look pensive for a moment, and I go back into the truck.
I am assuming that Rollrock doesn't want to be out here.
You are correct.
So in the truck, I am going to take apart. Where is it? I have currently 2 half-pound grenades.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to take them apart, keeping some necessary bits for reuse, but also some of those might be things that came out of the original thing.
You're going
So I
to
don't-
try to remove all of the stasis tube bits from them.
Yes, exactly. And I will come back out and sort of just
For grins, give me an explosives roll. Don't crit fail.
332.
That does not crit fail. Okay,
I beat explosives by 12. I think I'm good.
you're good. You're good.
I am good at one particular thing, which is knowledge-based skills. Don't ask me to do any heavy lifting,
No heavy lifting at all.
which is why my maximum capacity for explosives is 5 pounds.
Well, it's not
One-
your maximum capacity, but if you want
Maximum
to not
recommended.
have... Yes.
On the other hand, I apparently need to be beefing up fast talk and streetwise because
Oh,
I have succeeded so far.
but you're concerned.
So
Yes.
here's the question. Do I have a container to put the parts in, or am I just coming out with 2 handfuls of parts?
You probably at least have a pouch that you could sacrifice as a...
Okay, that's fair.
You know,
So
it's something that used to have explosives in it.
now the explosives are somewhere
Now
else.
it's just a pouch.
Some of them were under a
Right.
truck. But in any case, I come out with a pouch that is almost a pound's worth of former explosives, which are also former stasis tube parts. Utini!
That's probably about right. Oh, excellent,
Oh.
little one.
Yes, he brought them with him.
The bag presentation is not precisely as high quality as it could be, but it will suffice. Here, lay everything upon the...
Burlap sack.
Oh,
Utini.
Put
It was like
that-
that when we got it.
oh dear. Place the sack underneath it and cover it with the supplied sheet.
Utini. I mean, it's a
possible
very nice burlap
that-
sack.
Is it possible that you have a presentation that Graxar would prefer?
The item itself covered appropriately and delivered without the burlap, perhaps, will be quite sufficient. We should keep the burlap in case it is
Important.
part of the further presentation, of course.
I understand. Let's.
If you
tell you
require
what-
assistance, the droids here will do heavy lifting.
I tell you what. Let's find a cover and a base sheet and place the burlap sack underneath.
Of course, you actually have
So-
right there the cover and a base sheet. You can do that. It's there. The parts are
Okay.
there.
So
You can-
we layer the hover dolly as burlap sack, base sheet,
Uh-huh.
stasis tube,
Uh-huh.
and parts in sack,
Uh-huh.
and then cover sheet.
Yep.
But is the base sheet a fitted sheet? Because if it is, no one's going to be able to fold that back up again.
Fortunately, it is a wonderfully draping sheet.
Ah, Utini.
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. I need to make sure the parking brake is on.
Of course.
Troll Rock, hang tight. We'll be back in like a minute.
Right. I'll wait in here.
Thank you. I appreciate your understanding. I truly do.
Jewel Rock is just going to keep meditating.
It's a reasonable thing to do. So
Okay, we're gonna get a droid to pilot the hover dolly
Mhm.
into Mighty Zaxar's audience at his convenience, ideally soon.
All right, the droid will pilot the hover dolly. The attendant greeter, whatever she is, will walk in a stately fashion, flowing garments, flowing flowily, and escort the two of you, unless you want to try to leave Rotini behind or not.
No.
Okay.
No. Rotini's coming with.
Rotini might listen.
Rotini can attest in Jawa. No, that's a bad idea. I want to be able to show that the person who I want to be able to demonstrate to Graxar the person who inspected the stasis tube.
Rotini
hopefully this
is
will
not
not
at all
require-
nervous about
require-
any of this.
Of course not.
We're both overconfident.
I think the whole party is overconfident.
Yes, this is accurate.
And at least one of you has impulsive, maybe two of you.
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Too. I'm pretty sure that Rotini has it too. Yeah.
Yes.
I am not impulsive. This is why Jewel Rock is willing to wait in the truck and meditate and pretend that they are not in a truck.
Our overconfidence is our weakness.
I just need to be able to do the boring conversation anyway thing.
Yes. Yes.
You are all escorted through the halls. What is going beep, beep, beep?
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you a 30-second bomb?
Oh.
Okay.
You have to tell us if you are a 30-second bomb.
The only thing that's going on here is that the dialyzer is making new dialysate.
Ah.
That would
It's
do
the
it.
vampire.
It's going warp, 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 warp.
Yes.
Okay,
Space
Sorry.
vampires.
that's all right. The hallways go from fairly exotic to opulent, to overdone, to bits of art hanging on the walls with appropriate lighting. And here's something over here that it's a statuette and it has some sand scattered artfully along the base that it stands upon. The usual sort of hut stuff. This is a hut who likes his art. I am going to ask that you mute that because it's...
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's just one
It's
of the
hitting
droids.
my ability to verbal. Huh?
It's just one of the droids.
Sorry?
It's just one of
Yes.
the droids.
Yes, one of the droids goes borp, 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 and the
Oh no.
attendant pulls a weapon out and shoots it in the... Yeah.
Could be worse. It could have been going
Weird to
gonk.
me that you're noticing it now. It's
Sorry.
just weird to me that you're noticing it now because it's been doing it for like 6 hours.
Only now is it managing to get into saying anything when you're not talking.
Wait, can you hear it now?
Not now.
No.
It's because unbelievable. It's because I moved my body.
Oh, you were shielding.
I'm physically between.
Yep. Now I can't hear it. Okay.
Okay. I'll stay over here then.
I think I will end off very soon because you are brought into the presence of the great, majestic Graxar, who is, well, he's your typical Graxar. He's extremely large, and he's sort of mottled green and yellow, and he is apparently wearing little press-on scale mail or chain mail bits as decoration here and there in precious metals with gems, a diadem that looks like it looks like it's a human-sized diadem that has been used as the center gem for a hut-sized diadem, who looks at everyone, intones something in huddies, which you understand to be, the item. Welcome. And that, I think, is where I'm going to end it, if you don't mind.
Sounds like a good place to end it.
Okay. So, this is Beth, who was GMing and hopefully going to get better at it as I go along, with Crash and Ellie and EO.
I'm
No?
Beth, who's GMing.
No, I'm Beth.
Is this a Spartacus?
That's what I was hoping for.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, would anyone like to plug anything?
EO's mom writes books. But only the real EO's mom. Which one of us is it? You'll never figure it out.
Is it me?
Possibly. You at least know what the URL is.
We'll have to go to elizabeth-mccoy.com to find out.
And speaking of websites,
We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy.
until next time.
Ooh,
That's nuts
teeny.
for you.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's well done.
Wait a minute. Are Beth's huts actually the adults from every Peanuts cartoon ever?
This makes Peanuts a much more fascinating cartoon. Good night. Hit the
Who
button.
gave the
I have
hut
to
a
put
horn
groceries.
instrument?